Laser sights increase confidence regardless of experience level, whether you're learning the fundamentals or overcoming aging eyes. Crimson Trace, making laser sight standard equipment. Visit crimsontrace.com to find a dealer near you.
Today on Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, a brand new gun design, legislation that could help protect shooters from hearing loss, your range reports, and more. Call in now, 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Now, here's Tom.
Alrighty, it's Tom Gresham. It is Gun Talk, and we are here live. Yeah, it's Super Bowl Sunday, and we're going to be doing this because who cares about that? That's hours away. We're not going to worry about that right now. Hey, glad that you could be with us. If you'd like to join us right here on the air, it's really easy. Well, actually, there's more than one way. First of all, of course, you can call 866-TALK-GUN or just dial Tom Talk Gun. That'll get you right in. And we're looking for range reports. You know, we've been doing these reports from the SHOT Show for the last few weeks. A lot of good information, a lot of good news there. But now it's time for you to get back involved and tell us what you've been out shooting, what you have purchased, who you have taken to the range, what you've been hunting, and just pretty much anything else you'd like to share with us in terms of shooting and guns and safety, self-defense, your everyday carry. I always want to know, what is your everyday carry, your EDC, as you like to talk about. We do love our three-letter acronyms. Oh, yeah, we should call those the TLAs. Just lots of fun. 866-TALK-GUN will get you in there. A lot of news, a lot of things going on. Going to be talking about what's going on from the Trump White House, from the House of Representatives, from the gun ban zealots. They're trying this again. They have a new gun control movie, pushing gun control. They do this occasionally. They roll these things out and they just die. They just roll over. But people don't like to be preached to. I think it really is as simple as that. People just don't want to go pay their money to be preached to. I mean, it's why so many of us are simply not going to, and I like movies, but I'm not going to watch the Academy Awards. I'm not going to watch the Grammys. I'm not going to watch any of these award shows, which is just a showcase for spoiled, clueless celebrities to vent about things that they just don't know anything about. Why would I subject myself to those people? I don't know. I just don't see it. By the way, this is your last week to get a code. The code is going to let you enter for a chance to win a pretty cool grand prize. One person is going to win all of this. A Springfield Armory XDS 3.3 and 40 cal, Crimson Trace Laser Guard Pro green laser for the XDS, $200 gift certificate to freedommunitions.com to buy ammo, and a $100 gift certificate to Crossbreed Holsters for a complete carry rig, holsters, belt, and more. Only one way that you can get a code, you have to have the Gun Dealio app on your smartphone. And you have to have, of course, locations and notifications enabled. And we're sending out these notifications, and you get it, and it has a code on it, and you use that to enter. That's the only way you can do it. You got to have Gun Dealio on there. And, of course, if you have Gun Dealio, that also means you're going to be getting some pretty cool deals announced to you. Okay, so you saw the stories this week. And if you weren't paying attention, if you were, let's see, watching the news like much of the public and just swallowing the stuff they're putting out, maybe that's one way to put it. I'm trying to be kind here. You would think that the White House, and particularly the House of Representatives, have lost their minds. The stories like this: Associated Press, breaking, House votes to roll back Obama rule on background checks for gun ownership. I actually read that article, and I thought, if I didn't know any better, I'd think, my gosh, they've done away with background checks to buy guns. On the Hill, paper from D.C., House strikes down Obama-era regulation that blocked gun sales to mentally ill. Wow. They got rid of the law that says those adjudicated mentally ill. No, that's not what they did. CNN, House votes to repeal Obama-era regulation concerning the sale of guns to people with severe mental illnesses. That's CNN. And NPR Politics, House votes to overturn, NPR. House votes to overturn Obama rule restricting gun sales to mentally ill. Yeah, I know. Okay. So, who could possibly oppose a law that says the mentally ill shouldn't have guns? Who? Well, the NRA for one. But wait for it. How about also the ACLU? What? Did he say the American Civil Liberties Union opposed this? Yes, it did. How about groups that support the disadvantaged Americans? Groups who support mentally disadvantaged Americans opposed this. And much of the medical community opposed this. Okay, here's what was going on. As Barack Obama was heading out the door, and I mean like 24 hours before Donald Trump was sworn in, Barack Obama throws out this thing. It says, okay, we're going to go with this. The Social Security Administration will be able to treat seniors in the same lousy, sorry, cruddy, unconscionable way that the Veterans Administration has been treating our American veterans. That is, if someone says, I would rather have a relative or someone else handle my finances, a veteran, or in this case, a senior, somebody on Social Security, I would like to have somebody else be the payee for my finances for Social Security. Well, let's just read it to you exactly. It says, the rule would require the Social Security Administration to forward the names of all Social Security Disability Insurance, SSDI, and Supplemental Security Income, SSI, benefit recipients who use a representative payee to help manage their benefits due to a mental impairment to the National Instant Criminal Background Check System, or as we like to call it, NICS. Okay? If you read the AP story or CNN, you would think, well, what they're doing is they're submitting these names to the background check database. And that's the way they put it, exactly. So Social Security would be submitting these names to the background check database. And you think, well, gee, that doesn't sound bad. They'll just be in the database and then they'll get checked. No. That's not what's going on. What's going on is what has been going on for years at the Veterans Administration, where some bureaucrat who you don't know, some bureaucrat who you don't know that person's name, you don't know that person's political interest, you don't know anything about that person. That person could put you on the you can't own guns for the rest of your life list. It's not submitting your name to a background check database. It's I am putting your name on the list of prohibited persons. That's what's going on. And that's what currently is going on at the Social Security Administration. And that's what the House of Representatives this past week voted to roll back. Now, it would still have to go to Senate, and then, of course, President Trump would sign it, and we'd get that taken off of Social Security, and then I would hope they would turn their eyes to the Veterans Administration, which has been doing the same thing for years and putting veterans on the list of you can't own a gun for the rest of your life because we said so. Now, just in case people are not clear, there is a provision in federal law that you can't own a gun if you have been adjudicated mentally incompetent. Adjudicated means like a judge, adjudicated, judge, not a bureaucrat. Not somebody in a lab that says, oh, yeah, you check that box, boom, can't own a gun. No, adjudicated, go to court. Get somebody declared mentally incompetent. Okay, that person cannot own a gun. That's the law. Like it or not, that is the law. These other things are actually not even law. They're just regulations with the force of law. It is, at its core, it's un-American. It certainly is a violation of the Second Amendment, no doubt about that. And we're going to see what happens with that. If you have any thoughts on that, or if you'd like to share your range reports, 866-TALK-GUN. Just dial Tom, Talk Gun. That'll get you in here. We'll be right back with more Gun Talk.
Smith & Wesson brings 10 years of development to your holster with the new enhanced M&P M2.0 semi-auto pistol. In 940 and 45 with a crisp and lighter trigger pull, the M2.0 has aggressive texture for a great grip, extended stainless steel chassis for rigidity, and 4 palm swell grip inserts for a perfect fit. The remarkable M&P, even better in version 2.0. See it at smith-wesson.com.
If you're like me, you don't have money to burn, but you still want to buy guns, ammo, and accessories. That's why we created Gun Dealio. That's a free, yes, a free smartphone app. Just download it and start getting the deals. Could be discounts, offers of free magazines for your gun, or you could be the first to hear about new stuff from gun makers. Here's how it works. With Gun Dealio on your phone, you get alerts when you enter a gun store. Special deals, you know. You don't have to do a thing. It'll do a lot of other cool things, like let you watch gun videos and listen to Gun Talk podcast. Plus, check it anytime for hundreds of deals and offers. Getting more while spending less. Smart, huh? Gun Dealio. Made in America. Gluten-free. At the App Store and Google Play or gundealio.com.
Laser sights enhance and maintain your accuracy in a time of crisis. Whether you're unbalanced, evading a threat, or engaging from behind cover, a laser sight aids in keeping you on target. Call 800-442-2406 or visit crimsontrace.com for a free copy of our laser training video, The Laser's Edge, and learn more about why Crimson Trace is making laser sights standard equipment.
At 866-TALK-GUN, get you in here. Just dial Tom Talk Gun. Got a email here. Rich from Roseville, California. He says, Tom, I'm hoping you could talk some sense into me. I have a decent small collection of really nice semi-auto pistols, full size and shield, M&Ps, Kimber 1911, SIG 226, Glock 19. Yeah, more and more. All fantastic firearms, says Rich. He says, but I have been wanting a 686, that would be a Smith & Wesson revolver, for a really long time, but I know it's not practical because I already have some nice pistols with higher round capacities. It just doesn't seem practical, but I really want some Smith & Wesson steel in my safe and for the range. I've been drooling over Smith & Wesson revolver since I was a kid in the 70s and 80s, and he really wants one. He says, please help talk some sense into me. Rich, I got nothing for you, buddy. Why is that? Because this week I'm going to go buy my own 686 Smith & Wesson revolver. I have decided that semi-autos are the digital form of handguns and revolvers are analog. And sometimes we just like cool things like film cameras and wind-up watches and revolvers. And let me just tell you, you'll never be sorry. And I don't care if you're getting a Smith & Wesson or a Ruger or whomever. Revolvers are just cool. There's just something fun. And I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. In fact, if you've got a thought, why do we like revolvers? I mean, I love my semi-autos. I carry semi-autos. I shoot semi-autos. But there's something special about a revolver. If you have any thoughts on that, 866-TALK-GUN. Let's go to line 3. Lloyd's with us out of Colorado. Hey, Lloyd, you've made it on to Gun Talk. How can I help you?
Good afternoon. I have a question that stems from a conversation that you were having at the SHOT Show about 2 or 3 weeks ago concerning a company called Franklin Arms, I think it was, in Kentucky.
Franklin Armory.
Armory. Okay, my question is Franklin Armory the same company that used to be called Double Star?
No. Double Star's still around. Franklin Armory, they make the binary firing system trigger that shoots 2 ways. You pull the trigger, it goes off. When you release the trigger, it goes off. But I'm pretty sure this is not Double Star.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you, Lloyd. Mike's on line 1, driving through Texas. Hey, Mike, you're on Gun Talk.
Hey, Tom. Two things. I have time a range report, but living in Washington, I just learned, and being a member of the Washington Arms Collectors, I was looking online last night. There are two bills up before the legislature, House Bill 1387 and 1122, and what they want to do is they want to require licensing and registration of most firearms owners, impose fees, forbid the transfer, register detachable magazines over 10 rounds, and if someone steals your gun and uses it in a crime, you become a felon. Isn't that sweet?
Yeah, the Washington legislators have decided to go full bore California. And what we've been watching this happen as the Californication of Washington State has been continuing, Oregon and Washington State. I'm glad that the Collectors Association is on this. I guess the question is, what are you guys going to do about it? Because here's the thing. Do not look to the NRA to take care of this. They cannot take care of everything in every state. It's up to the state group to do this. You guys got to be there. You got to show up. You got to make calls. You got to show up. Did I mention you got to show up? Because nothing, calls and showing up. That's it. Emails, just, it's like sneezing. It really doesn't do anything. Phone calls have an impact. When the legislator is walking into his office or her office and the phones are ringing off the hook and they can't get anything done because the gun people keep calling, that has an impact. That has an impact.
Should.
And I will tell you, there's a way to do a poison pill deal. If somebody could, the problem is if it's all Democrat controlled, it's difficult. I would love to be able to put something in there that says, okay, and the same thing applies to automobiles. So that if somebody steals your car and uses it in a crime, you, the owner of the car, are charged with a crime. Would that be nice? I think probably if you could get that inserted as an amendment, it'd probably get the whole thing taken. Obviously, it's not going to happen, but it's just a way of explaining it. Okay, tell me about your range report. What you been out doing? What did you shop?
Well, this was last August. My oldest and his wife is from the Philippines, and she had never fired a gun. So I took my son, his wife, and his daughter, who has been there before, and we had that little 22 I've told you about, and she shot the Ruger 22 Bisley, a 380 Taurus, a P38 9mm, and I also have an 1851 Colt Navy replica. And she had a blast. She wants to do it some more.
Isn't it fun when you can introduce somebody to shooting who's never shot before? And you watch them, and they come in with these expectations that generally are unrealistic because everything that they know about guns they've basically learned through watching TV and movies. And you get them started out, and they turn around and just look at you and smile, don't they? Did she have a good time?
Oh, she had a blast. She loved it. My granddaughter wasn't too enthusiastic about trying the other guns, but Elizabeth, or Issa as we call her, she tried every one, and she loved it. She really liked of course, like everybody likes the 22, and she really liked the 1851 Navy replica. Of course, it shoots a fairly light load. But, yeah, had a great time, yes.
That is terrific. So, you're spreading the word. You're spreading the truth. And that's the thing. Once you have, I call it vaccinating people, when a person goes out and shoots and she has fun, now they are vaccinated against the nonsense from the media that, only criminals use guns and only bad people use guns and guns are inherently unsafe. And, the only reason you would have a gun is to kill someone. And they go, yeah, but I went out and shot and I had fun and the people who were with me were really nice people and they were just like me and we laughed and we shared good times. And it's like your personal experience always trumps what other people tell you, doesn't it?
It does. What I enjoy most about going shooting and being around others is taking out a black powder revolver. People will come over and look, and is that really? And you load it up and you hand it to them, and you know how we are. We like to share our guns. Try a few rounds. And it's never failed. Someone shoots black powder, they get an ear-to-ear grin that doesn't quit. And I said, don't tell your wife I told you about this because she'll be coming after me. But, yeah, It's a blast.
I love it. I love it. Well, a great report. I appreciate it, Steve. Thank you for what you're doing out there. I'm correction. That was Mike. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate that. You know, my wife always warns couples when we meet. She says, okay, she turned to the wife. She says, here's the deal. I'm going to apologize to you in advance because somewhere along the line, knowing my husband is going to cost you money because you're going to buy guns and you're going to buy ammo and you may be buying, who knows, cameras or outdoor gear or hunting gear or fishing gear. Or, I mean, that's just what it is because I like to do stuff. I like to go out and do things. And it does seem that a lot of it involves gear. I like gear. You may have noticed I like my gear. I tell you what, Steve, Frank, John, don't go anywhere. We're going to be getting to you. There's not quite enough time to get you into to this break. But I was talking about this email I got from Rich about revolvers. And I've been thinking about this over the last, couple of weeks. I've been thinking about the idea of revolvers as being analog, as throwbacks. There's something kind of cool about operating the action yourself. Follow me here. Single action or double action. When you pull a trigger on a double action in double action form, when you pull the trigger, it rotates the cylinder, it cocks the hammer, and if it's a exposed hammer, you can see it come back, and then it fires. If it's single action, you pull the hammer back, it rotates the cylinder, same deal, versus just pulling the trigger and the slide's operating. I don't know if that's it. Maybe there's something akin to paddling a canoe versus motorboating, of bicycling, of hiking, of doing something yourself. I don't know. It's maybe that it was John Naismith, the Megatrends book from years ago, where he said the more we become high tech, the more we're going to crave high touch. Could be some of that. But for whatever reason, I have found that even people who've never shot revolvers, who kind of grew up on the semi-autos, you give them a revolver, they go really old-fashioned, and they shoot and they go, man, that's just fun. And it is. There's just something about it. Not to mention the fact that they are absolutely practical in every sense of the word, whether it's hunting, self-defense, plinking, or just having a good time. 866-TALK-GUN. Give me a holler. This is Gun Talk.
Sign up for our Gun Talk newsletter and join the Truth Squad at www.guntalk.com. Now, back to Gun Talk with Washington Times opinion page regular contributor Tom Gresham.
Welcome back. Tom Gresham here. 866-TALK-GUN gets you in here. Asking the perennial question, why do we like revolvers so much? John writes in, he says, well, revolvers are John Wayne. Funny, I was just on TV a little while ago. They were running again the movie Big Jake. I like that movie. It's simple. It's Richard Boone. It's John Wayne. It's kind of fun. And I like most John Wayne movies, as a matter of fact. But just that one, I guess I like it when he says, did you remember to bring my greeners, the doubles? And he opens this case and there's two greener side-by-side shotguns in there. I'm going, yeah, that'll work. But revolvers, I like them. One of the things, I'm going to get into politically incorrect, or maybe it'll irritate some people here, I don't know. I'm just not a fan of poisonous snakes, okay? And shot loads in a revolver kind of give me a warm, fuzzy feeling when I'm around snake country where people keep saying, yeah, we're seeing a lot of rattlesnakes out here. Rattlesnakes, not a fan, okay? And yes, you can shoot them with regular anything, but you really can't get good shot loads generally, I don't think. Well, maybe somebody can help me out and correct me for your semi-autos that'll feed. But in a 357 or 44 revolver, you get good shot loads that'll actually do some good. At least that's my current rationalization. Because honestly, look, if you can't rationalize somehow or justify buying another gun, you're just not trying hard enough. Let's talk to Steve, line 4. He's in Atlanta, Georgia. Steve, thanks for your patience. What are you carrying?
Tom, it's great to talk to you. We have some common friends. I've been carrying a surprisingly, I haven't listened to every episode, but I haven't heard much about the Rohrbaugh R9, which is what I've been carrying ever since they came out. Have you heard of the Rohrbaugh?
Little thing. Oh, yeah. They're tiny little things, aren't they?
It's the world's lightest, smallest 9mm 6+1 ever made. I think to this day it still is. And Remington bought the design to the 380, but they ignored the 9mm. So after 7,000 guns or so, they got bought out. But it is a fantastic gun. I've owned 4 of them. I'm down to 2 now. And
what happened to the other 2?
It does not get any of the credit. I never see stories about it. Have read very little marketing stuff or magazine articles. It's really a surprise that no one's glommed onto that, except for the,
all right, I got a question for you. Let me ask you. What you say you had 4 of them, and now you're down to 2. What happened to the other 2?
Well, I got snookered out of them. People insisted on buying them no matter what I tried to charge for them, and they always said yes.
It's that old deal. I say, well, hey, I've done that. Guy says, hey, you want to sell that? You go, well, I don't know, maybe. So how much you want for it? And then you just name a stupidly high price. The guy goes, okay, here you go. You go, oh, man.
I mean, that's exactly what happened. One of them was to a world-famous knife maker who I won't mention here because he's no longer with us.
Okay.
But they're fantastic guns. I've changed over completely to 9mm from everything else. I decided to calm things down and just concentrate on one caliber, and I have become a new man because of it. And speaking of that, you were talking about revolvers. You killed me. I had an SP-101 Ruger in 9mm. Was the sweetest revolver ever, and I stupidly sold it to my good friend, and he stupidly ignored my first dibs on it and sold it to someone else, and I haven't forgiven him since.
that old right of first refusal deal. Yeah, that was a cool revolver.
I love that SP-101. What a great gun. Well,
I'll tell you what you can do now. It's not a 9, but take a look at the Ruger LCR in 327 Federal. Yeah, I know it's not a 9, but it's a 6-shot tiny revolver, and you got 357 Magnum power out of it. That's definitely want to take a look at for another carry gun. You know where I like that kind of gun as an ankle gun, although your Rohrbaugh would certainly work well as an ankle gun too. In fact, you could have 2 Rohrbaughs, you could carry both of them and nobody would ever know, right?
That's exactly right. And I'm looking at an ankle rig right now that'll work perfectly for it, and it's just so much fun. I got into it after Hurricane Katrina, and I haven't looked back.
There you go. Well, look, I appreciate the range report. Yeah, the Rohrbaugh R9, very, very small 9. Thank you for that. All right, I'm having dinner last night with a shooter friend of mine. And it's one of those deals where we always just talk guns, of course. Our wives are talking about other things. And he said, yeah, I just finished the new Tom Clancy novel. Yeah, I know. It's not really written by Tom Clancy, but it's a Tom Clancy novel. And he said, it's about terrorists and this and that. And he says, after that, I think I'm going to switch. I'm not going to carry my single stack anymore. I'm going to carry a double stack. I said, I got there just a few years ahead of you. I carried single stacks and said, this should get me out of almost anything I can imagine. And then as the terror attacks kept coming, and frankly, after we were doing the first-person defender TV shows where we put people in these self-defense situations, and I would watch them time after time empty their guns. It's like they're in the middle of, they get attacked, they're in the middle of a fight, you got to fight somebody off. It's pop, 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 pop. Done. Out of ammo. So I went, in a real-world situation, you're not going to go 2 to the body, 1 to the head. You're going to shoot them until they quit being a threat. And that happens really fast. It can like a second and a half to empty a single-stack gun. So I carry double stack, and I carry an extra magazine for my double stack 9. So depending on the model and all, you can be carrying, in a compact, You can be carrying from, call it 25 to 30 rounds of 9. In a full size, you can be carrying, call it probably 5, 10, maybe even 15 more. Tell you what are you carrying, and why do we like revolvers? Give me a holler, 866-TALK-GUN. Be right back.
The Springfield Armory SOCOM 16 CQB is a serious package of .308 firepower with a long military background. 10 inches shorter than the standard M1A with the standard 10-round or the optional 20-round magazine. It's a thunderous close-quarters battle rifle that stops, fights, fast. Ghost ring rear and tritium front sights with a 5-position adjustable cheek piece. The SOCOM 16 CQB is ready for anything. Springfield-Armory.com.
You got your carry permit, and that's good. But you know you could use more training. Get the DVDs, which have what you need. Springfield Armory presents Concealed Carry 1 and Concealed Carry 2 with Bata Group. Learn specific concealed carry skills from Top Gun fighting trainers. Get trained. Be prepared. This really is life and death. ShopGunTalk.com. That's ShopGunTalk.com.
A great trigger can make you a better shooter. For over 60 years, Timney triggers have been trusted by hunters and shooters everywhere. Timney triggers are proudly made in the USA and come with a lifetime warranty. Installation is easy. Give yourself the Timney Trigger advantage. To see more and order online, go to timneytriggers.com. That's TIMNEY triggers.com.
Let's go straight to the phones. Line 2, Frank's with us out of Reno, Nevada. Hello, Frank.
Yes, sir. I had a range report for you that you might be interested in.
Great. Okay.
It's a weapon I just picked up a couple of months ago. They're called Sky. It's SCCY. I don't know if you've heard of them or not.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah. Have you shot one?
I have shot them, and I have to admit, I was very skeptical because of the price point on it. I'm thinking, yeah, this is not going to be good. And then I shot it and went,
here.
huh. So I went, wow, this is a pretty nice pistol.
Oh, yeah. Well, when I went to the range, it was an indoor range. And like you, I'm thinking, this thing is the size of a PPK. There is no way this can be reasonably accurate. But I'll give it a shot, literally. So I set up the target at 5 yards. B-27 full-size target, just see if I can keep it at least in the 9 or the 8 ring, right? The first 5 rounds I could almost cover with a silver dollar. And I was sold right there. And the thing is so incredibly accurate.
And they're pretty small, and they're okay, here's the question for you. What color did you get?
I got black.
Boring, because they have all these cool colors.
Yeah, I know, but the only thing the shop had available was the black. I guess it's sold out of the other colors. They're selling so fast.
Sure, yeah.
Because new retail on it's less than $300 if you find the right shop.
Yes, and and it's now. Here's the question: are you carrying it? And if so, how are you carrying it? What holster? What are you doing?
Well, I'm carrying it. It's just in a garden variety Yankee in the waistband. There's no safety on it per se because it pretty much works like a revolver. I mean, it's double action all the time. So if you pull the trigger and you have a dud round, you can pull the trigger a second time to try to get it to pop off before you try clearing it.
Okay, it's got second strike capability. Yeah, I like that.
So you can pull the trigger till doomsday and it'll just keep popping.
Okay, because a lot of times, let me just tell people, a lot of times, more than half the time, if you get a click on a round, if you can hit it one more time with a firing pin, it'll actually go off.
Yes, it will. You're very correct there. And I love that about this thing. It's inexpensive. It's made here in the States. Matter of fact, it's made in Florida, I think. It is literally the size of a PPK, and it weighs actually about what a PPK is, but it's 9 mil instead of 380, of course.
Man, we are blessed with so many cool guns these days. Lots of choices. Frank, I appreciate that. That's a great range report. Thank you, sir. I got people calling in. Line 1, Jim's with us out of Denham Springs, Louisiana. What's your range report, Jim?
Hey, I bought a Savage Axis in 308 and put a $89 scope on it I had and took it out to the range, and has a great trigger. Kept them in like 1 1/4 inch groups at 100 yards. I mean, I can't beat it for the cheap price I got for it, brand new. And also got me a M&P Shield in 9mm to carry it, and it's so light and small. I mean, got an inside the waistband holster, and shoot, I forget it's there. And
I know. And you know, the other thing about the Shield is it has a really good trigger. I mean, those things just shoot well.
Oh, yeah, I love it. Yeah, that's the best money I've spent in a long time. And I also found a Marlin 336 for like under $300, like brand spanking new, just in fine shape at the pawn shop. And I had to get that too. And I put a antique Redfield scope on it with the oval eyesight on it. And boy, it shot good. It shot like 1 1/2 inch groups at 100 yards.
Wow, that 336, that's a great rifle. That's a classic rifle. Well, very cool, Jim. Thank you so much for that call and the great range report. All right, did everybody pick up on that little conversation where Jim says, well, I went into there and they had this Marlin and I had to buy it. You caught that, right? I had to buy it. Yes, that is what we were afflicted with. Cool gun, good price. I'm sorry, honey, I just had to buy it. And it works both ways, because I've heard a lot of wives come back and say, honey, I just had to buy this gun. So, you know, don't feel bad. Either way, it works. Ed's in Oregon on line 3. Hey, Ed, you're on Gun Talk.
Hey, Tom, how are you today? Hey, the reason I called is about a year ago I called you complaining that I couldn't find 22 shells. So I went out and I found an alternative technology called pre-charged air rifles.
Yes.
They are incredible.
Yeah.
I bought a Benjamin Armada 25 caliber. I use it for pesting, you know, taking out the digger squirrels and that sort of thing.
Right.
And at 75 yards, I consistently hit a 2-inch target, and the ammunition, I can order it by the ton. And, you know, the whole thing about an air rifle, it's not involved with the ATF because it's not a firearm, quote unquote.
Right.
But
yeah, it's not
I got to researching. This is just a wonderful, wonderful addition to the sport. I shouldn't say addition because I got online and I looked up Lewis and Clark air rifles. They took an air rifle on their 1804 trip into the Oregon Territory. The thing was incredible. It was called a Giardoni air rifle. Shot 45 caliber. Had a magazine capacity at 20 and could put 20 shots downrange in 1 minute.
So let me go back because I want to make sure people caught what you just said a little while ago. You're hitting, I'm taking probably either prairie dogs or ground squirrels, little pest, at 75 yards and killing them with an air rifle. Is that right?
Right.
That, you know what, there are a lot of people can't do that with a 22. That is fabulous.
It's, you know, I am so excited about the capabilities of the air rifle. Like another one I've been reading about is the Air Force Texan in 50 caliber. They're using it to shoot wild boars in Texas.
Absolutely. Just fabulous range report, Ed. I appreciate that. By the way, if people want to know more about the whole air gun world, check out Pyramid Air, pyramidair.com. They have all the information. It's kind of like the go-to site on pre-charged and pump-ups and every other type and the different calibers that are available. But, I mean, 50, 75 yards is just not a thing anymore. It's not difficult. You can actually do this. You can hunt with them, as Ed is doing. And, yeah, it's not a firearm. And ammo, you're just buying pellets and charging them up. I mean, either pumping them up or using the pre-charge. It's just cool as it can be. Have you used an adult air gun recently? 866-TALK-GUN. Oh, yeah, rocking along, having a good old time. Talking about guns and having fun out there and owning guns responsibly, safely. Talking about revolvers. Why do we like revolvers so much? There's something sensual? Is that a wrong word to use? There's something just tactile, maybe that's a better word, about revolvers. Cocking them, rotating, loading them, the whole deal. It's just, I don't know, throwback, call it what you will. Now, they certainly are useful, practical, good for self-defense, good for hunting. With a good .357 Magnum, 38 Special, 3 to 4 inch barrel, I would feel perfectly okay taking on a man-ish size target at 100 yards. Yeah, I said 100 yards on football field. I don't think that's a problem with a good gun. Good triggers. Man, I just love shooting them. They just, I don't know. Maybe I started with them, and maybe that's why I like them. Who knows? Let's go to Glenn on line 2 out of Easton, Maryland. Glenn, what's this about a new shooter at the range?
Well, a friend of mine has an old Browning A5 that he wanted cleaned up and to make sure that it worked. So I got it cleaned up. We took it out to the range. He shot it. It had been up in his attic for about 5 years, had surface rust, so I got it all clean. It's functioning. He shot it. He had a ball. And then I pulled out. I drive a Suburban, so I opened up the back. I said, let's have some fun. So we started shooting suppressed 300 blackout, 9mm AR-15, 22 AR-15, 9mm pistol. We had a ball, and I have enabled him, and it was great.
Yes, you did. You had the fun stuff, man. That is cool.
Just some of it. And then the other day I was out goose hunting with a friend of mine that listens to your show, and there was a third guy in the blind, and he's like, hey, what do you guys think I should shoot a deer with? And I look at my friend, and we just start laughing. I said, this is a Tom moment, because we're going to enable this guy, too. He goes, what do you think of 308? I'm like, yeah, I think it's great. I said, Tom would say 257 Roberts. And then we started talking about the Nosler cartridge. And like, this poor guy's more confused now than when he started.
Well, and of course, the bottom line is, yeah, buy them all. I don't care. Just get them all. It'll be great. That is wonderful, Glenn. Thank you. What a great range report. You're enabling. We're sending out a team of enablers out there. Well, let's talk to another Glenn on line 4 out of Florida. Glenn, I got about a minute, so give me that range report, please.
Okay, it's on a pistol I just bought. It's a TriStar T100 9mm. It's 15-round magazine, and this pistol is reviewed as a clone for the CZ75, and it's one of the finest pistols I've ever shot, and economically priced. I'm talking way below $400.
Oh, wow. Okay. How long you had it?
I've had it for about 2 weeks now. I fired about 50 rounds through it so far. Never had a jam on it. So, it's
okay. Well, you got to do more shooting, man.
It's an outstanding gun, and I did not read any reviews that ever gave any bad comments on it.
Okay, the TriStar T100. The only thing you got to do now is just shoot it more. Hey, Glenn, thank you for that report. A great range report. Okay, it's really weird and different when we get a brand new gun and coming out of a brand new company that nobody's ever heard of. I mean, people don't just start gun companies out of nowhere with a brand new model. I mean, you can start by assembling ARs. That's one thing. Well, when we come back, we're going to be talking to the folks from Hudson. This is that new pistol that you probably heard about. It's not a 1911. It's not a Glock. It's not an anything. I don't even know how to describe it. I'll let them describe it. I have shot it. It shoots really well. It's different. It feels good. But these guys are out of Texas. I mean, how do you just out of nowhere pop up and create a new gun company? Well, we're talking about that. We'll also have more of your calls and comments, your range reports. Again, 866-TALK-GUN, or just dial Tom Talk Gun. And if there's anything on your radar as far as something you're going to be buying, I would love to know that. Hey, you can reverse the trend and you can enable me. I may want what you want. We'll be right back.